Have you ever wondered whether adding 2 eggs to your daily meal plan could actually improve your health? Or whether it might be doing harm you can't see? Eggs have been a point of debate for decades, alternately hailed as a near-perfect source of nutrients and demonized for their cholesterol content. You might remember well-meaning advice from years back telling you to cut back on eggs because they might spike your cholesterol. Yet more recent studies suggest eggs can play a beneficial role in a balanced diet, especially when eaten in moderation. So how do we reconcile these views? And, more importantly, what genuinely happens to your body when you start eating 2 eggs every day? In this conversation, we'll explore the potential benefits and pitfalls, helping you decide whether that daily omelet might be your ticket to better energy and nutrition, or whether you should be keeping a closer eye on certain health markers. Let's begin with something that often surprises people who've avoided eggs for years. They're genuinely nutrient-dense. A single egg offers about 6 grams of high-quality protein, meaning it has all the essential amino acids your body needs for muscle repair, immune function, and a host of other processes. If you double that to 2 eggs daily, you're getting around 12 grams of protein from a source that's relatively low in calories. That's a big plus if you're looking to maintain or build lean muscle mass, especially as you age and your protein requirements might rise a bit. Many older adults struggle to get enough protein without overeating. Eggs can help fill that gap. You can scramble them, boil them, or incorporate them into various recipes. The convenience factor alone is attractive. Compared to other protein-rich foods, say a piece of fish or chicken breast, eggs require minimal prep and can be adapted to almost any meal of the day. Along with protein, eggs deliver a remarkable selection of vitamins and minerals. They're a reliable source of selenium, which supports healthy thyroid function and may offer antioxidant benefits. They also contain phosphorus, essential for strong bones and teeth, and riboflavin, important for energy production and cellular maintenance. Then there's vitamin D. For those who don't get enough sunlight or prefer not to rely on supplements, eggs can help close that gap, promoting healthy bones and a robust immune system. One nutrient that sets eggs apart is choline, often overshadowed by more famous vitamins, but critical for brain health. Choline is involved in neurotransmitter production, and some studies suggest that adequate choline intake may help preserve cognitive function as you age. If you're aiming to keep your mind sharp, that daily pair of eggs can serve as an easy route to more of this underappreciated nutrient. Now, let's talk about something that has historically caused a lot of anxiety: cholesterol. A single large egg contains around 186 milligrams of cholesterol, mostly in the yolk. If you multiply that by 2, it's roughly 372 milligrams. Close to or slightly above certain older, recommended daily limits. The big question is whether this dietary cholesterol translates into a dangerous surge in blood cholesterol, leading to an increased risk of heart disease. For a long time, eggs were viewed as potential ticking time bombs in your diet. However, more contemporary research suggests that for many people, the cholesterol in eggs doesn't necessarily cause a dramatic spike in blood LDL, often called bad cholesterol. Instead, your liver adjusts its cholesterol production in response to your dietary intake. In other words, if you consume more cholesterol from eggs, your body generally produces a bit less. The net effect can often be neutral. But it's not one size fits all. Some individuals, often referred to as hyperresponders, do see a significant rise in LDL cholesterol when they increase their dietary cholesterol intake. If you're concerned that you might be in this category, maybe you have a family history of high cholesterol, or you've had borderline numbers in the past, you should keep an eye on your lipid profile. Checking in with your healthcare provider to measure your LDL, HDL, and total cholesterol after incorporating eggs regularly can give you a clearer picture. Keep in mind that eggs also raise HDL, good cholesterol, in many people, which might offset a mild increase in LDL. The ratio of HDL to LDL and the types of LDL particles you have can matter more than the absolute number. So while it's wise to be cholesterol conscious, labeling eggs as strictly bad is outdated thinking. Another aspect often overlooked is how you prepare those 2 daily eggs. Eating them fried in a large amount of butter or processed oil may overshadow the egg's inherent nutritional benefits, piling on saturated or trans fats that can sabotage heart health. If you're pairing your eggs with heavy amounts of bacon or sausage, you're also ramping up your sodium and saturated fat intake. This can muddy the otherwise generally positive effect eggs might have. A better approach could be cooking them in a small dab of olive oil or even just using a nonstick skillet with minimal added fat. Pairing them with whole grain toast or fresh vegetables can round out the meal's fiber content, mitigating any spike in blood sugar and contributing to a more balanced nutritional profile. Essentially, it's not just the eggs in isolation, but the entire meal context that decides if this new habit is beneficial or detrimental. If weight management is on your mind, a 2 eggs a day habit can be quite filling due to the protein content, helping you control your appetite without resorting to high-calorie, less nutritious foods. Protein promotes satiety, so you may feel fuller longer and be less tempted to snack on sugary or ultra-processed treats. This is especially beneficial for those dealing with concerns like type 2 diabetes or prediabetes, where stable blood sugar and healthy portion control are paramount. The moderate amount of fats in eggs also helps slow down digestion, offering a steadier energy release compared to the crash you might get from a carb-heavy breakfast. The presence of healthy fats, particularly if the chickens were fed certain diets, can also mean you're getting some beneficial omega-3 fatty acids. Not all eggs are created equal, though. Some are labeled omega-3 enriched, so if that's important to you, pay attention to labels. Another frequently raised question is whether daily egg consumption might lead to a deficiency or overload of certain nutrients. Typically, it's not a problem unless your diet is extremely restrictive or you have certain metabolic disorders. Eggs can be part of a varied diet that includes vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and lean proteins. If you're only eating eggs and excluding other protein sources like poultry, fish, or legumes, then you might miss out on the diversity of amino acids, or you might be over-relying on eggs for particular vitamins and minerals. The best approach is to let eggs complement your meals, not dominate them. Having 2 eggs for breakfast a few times a week, or as a midday protein boost, can be a wise strategy, but consider rotating your protein options if you want a broad micronutrient intake. For instance, some days you might have Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, other days eggs, and on others maybe a serving of fish or beans. This variety ensures you're not shortchanging your body on key nutrients you'd find in other foods. When discussing potential downsides beyond cholesterol, one factor is the risk of foodborne illness, notably salmonella. Modern egg production standards generally mitigate this risk substantially, but it still exists, especially if eggs are undercooked. If you like your yolks runny or enjoy a sunny-side-up approach, ensure you're purchasing quality eggs from a trusted source. Refrigerating them properly and consuming them before their expiration date further reduces any microbial dangers. If your immune system is compromised or you're particularly cautious, thoroughly cooking the yolks until they're firm can be a safer approach. The odds of contracting a serious illness from store-bought eggs are quite low, but it's worth remembering that older adults can be more susceptible to complications from foodborne illnesses. Taking basic precautions can keep this from being a significant concern. Many seniors worry about possible digestive issues. Does eating 2 eggs a day cause bloating, gas, or constipation? Typically, eggs are easy to digest, offering a simple protein that the stomach and intestines can process without excessive strain. However, if you have a history of gallbladder or liver problems, you might want to check if an increase in eggs leads to discomfort. Some individuals find that higher dietary fat, even from healthy sources, can exacerbate certain GI symptoms. Yet for most people, 2 eggs daily are well within a normal range and are unlikely to spark digestive troubles, especially if balanced by enough fiber from vegetables, fruits, or whole grains. Drinking enough water also aids in digestion, helping your gut handle the added protein. The net effect for many people is improved regularity, since protein plus fiber can stabilize blood sugar and encourage a healthier gut microbiome. If you're consistently having trouble, it might be due to other aspects of your diet: too little fiber, not enough hydration, or an imbalance in how you're spacing out your meals. One subtle but significant advantage of eggs is the presence of antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin in the yolk, which can support eye health. As you get older, you become more vulnerable to macular degeneration and cataracts, conditions that can drastically affect your quality of life. While eggs alone won't guarantee perfect eyesight, They can complement a diet rich in leafy greens and colored fruits to bolster your eye defenses. If you're already dealing with vision concerns, adding 2 eggs daily to your meal rotation might be a simple, tasty addition to your overall eye care routine, alongside routine eye exams and wearing protective sunglasses when you're out in strong sunlight. Another angle is the social factor. Sometimes seniors choose to eat 2 eggs a day because it's a cost-and-huber, straightforward meal that doesn't require complicated cooking methods or expensive ingredients. If you're on a tight budget or have limited mobility, the convenience of eggs can be a blessing. A quick scramble or a soft-boiled egg can provide high nutrition with minimal cleanup. This ease often helps older adults maintain better protein intake than they might with more demanding recipes. If you're living alone or prefer smaller portion sizes, cooking up a couple of eggs is about as simple as it gets, and you don't end up with massive leftovers that may go to waste. This aspect alone can improve your daily nutrition if you'd otherwise skip meals or rely on packaged snack foods that are low in protein and high in salt or sugar. Nonetheless, moderation is generally the watchword. Consuming 2 eggs daily for most healthy adults is likely beneficial or at least not harmful. But if you're going for 4 or 6 eggs daily, or if you pair your eggs with large amounts of saturated fat every time, think bacon or heavy cheese, the overall meal might become a problem. Regularly track your blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar to confirm that your diet aligns with your health goals. If you notice troubling numbers, you can adjust by cutting back to a couple of eggs a few times a week instead of every day, or by focusing on egg whites more than yolks. Egg whites contain most of the protein minus the cholesterol, but do miss out on some of the yolk's nutrients, like choline and vitamin D. It's a matter of finding your sweet spot, possibly discussing it with a nutritionist or healthcare provider to tailor the approach to your medical history. Another question is whether you should worry about allergies or food sensitivities. True egg allergies are more commonly identified in childhood, but it's not impossible for a sensitivity or mild allergic reaction to appear later in life. If you experience consistent bloating, skin rashes, or other unexplained symptoms after adding eggs to your daily routine, it may be worth investigating an egg sensitivity. That said, this scenario is fairly rare among older adults, and many times the culprit is something else in the diet or environment. Keep track of any unusual changes to rule out or confirm an egg issue. If you're still uncertain, a practical method is to try a short trial period. For instance, eat 2 eggs daily for 2 weeks while keeping your other meal habits reasonably consistent. Record how you feel. Are you more satisfied between meals, or do you experience any new fatigue or digestive discomfort? Maybe your energy improves in the morning, or you notice that your mid-afternoon snack cravings fade. On the other hand, if you see your cholesterol jump significantly in a blood test, or if you sense your digestion isn't as smooth, you can revisit your approach. This self-experimentation can offer real insights, especially when combined with professional advice. Everyone's body chemistry is a bit different, so what works wonders for a friend or neighbor might not align with your needs. Let's circle back to the original question. Is it actually bad? The simplest answer is, in moderation and under normal health circumstances, eating 2 eggs every day is unlikely to be bad for most seniors. And it could even be advantageous, provided you watch your overall saturated fat intake and stay mindful of your cholesterol profile. Eggs can serve as a relatively low-cost, nutrient-dense source of protein, vitamins, and healthy fats. They also help some people manage their weight by providing satiety. The fear that eggs inevitably lead to clogged arteries is largely outdated for individuals who are generally healthy. Of course, if you already have advanced heart disease or severely elevated cholesterol levels, you may need to be more cautious. That might mean limiting the number of whole eggs you eat or focusing on egg whites. But for a large portion of the population, 2 eggs a day can be perfectly compatible with a heart-friendly lifestyle, as long as the rest of your diet and activity levels remain balanced. In summation, adding 2 eggs a day to your eating routine can deliver tangible benefits. High-quality protein to support muscles and organ function, essential vitamins and minerals like vitamin D and selenium, and even nutrients crucial to brain and eye health, such as choline, lutein, and zeaxanthin. You can keep your daily egg ritual from turning negative by avoiding the addition of excessive butter, bacon, or cheese, and by continuing to eat a wide variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. If you're still uneasy about cholesterol, monitoring your lipid levels or consulting a healthcare professional can give you peace of mind. For many seniors, the net effect is improved energy, convenient meal planning, and possibly better overall nutrition. At the end of the day, the choice depends on your personal health status, taste preferences, and dietary needs. If you enjoy eggs and have found that 2 per day fit neatly into your routine without pushing your cholesterol or saturated fat intake too high, then keep going. If you notice signs that your body isn't responding well, cut back or experiment with other protein sources. Remember, the best diet is one you can maintain sustainably, that supports your health goals and that brings a bit of enjoyment to your day. Eggs have earned their status as a versatile, nutritious option for a reason. It's worth giving them a fair chance. And maybe rethinking any old misconceptions, unless you have specific health concerns that would suggest otherwise. Thanks for listening to this exploration of what happens when you start eating 2 eggs daily. If you found it valuable, consider sharing with a friend or loved one who also wonders if eggs are friend or foe. And if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe or follow for more conversations on living your healthiest, happiest life. There's plenty to learn about everyday foods that can make a real difference in how we age, move, and feel. Ultimately, eggs might just be a small part of your broader nutritional picture, but for many seniors, it's a part that can pack a meaningful punch. Enjoy that next omelet or scrambled duo with confidence, knowing that you're likely doing your body more good than harm.